David, thank you for joining us on Capital and Power. And I'm curious, tell me, what is FinSights? How would somebody, because I work in AI, and at my firm, we have an AI agent we call Amy that helps our clients make decisions regarding investment choices. What is FinSights? And tell me the importance of working with Google.
FinSights is artificial intelligence for investing, pure and simple. And it's the real thing because it's fed with data that is proven to generate alpha in the stock market. Specifically, the same data that drives FinSights drives live traded indices and an ETF managed by Bloomberg that are dramatically outperforming the S&P. So we got together with Google with the idea of thinking, what is the art of the possible with AI? If we can really marry deep subject matter expertise with their cutting edge technology, wouldn't we have an AI that could do things that people sort of dream about for AI, which is to give you answers and insights that typically you can only get from a really high level human expert? Well, that art of the possible has become the art of the actual, and that's what FinSights is. It works better than probably most human experts out there.
You're working with Google, though. Are other firms also working with Google, or is this a proprietary arrangement, just FinSights and Google?
It's a proprietary arrangement between us and Google Cloud. In particular, it came about with discussions with some senior folks at Google Cloud because they are always looking for ways to show the power of their technology and what they call a secret sauce. And so the data we have at New Constructs is so clean and curated into a very powerful ontology that, again, produces signals, stock market signals that beat the market, that when you put those two things together, now you're really endowing the machines with a deep level of subject matter expertise that I don't think we've seen anywhere else before in the world. I don't think we've seen those two sort of great technology, really great data come together. And then the power of this AI is it's something to be reckoned with.
Well, tell me about New Constructs. Is that a brokerage, or what is the firm? How would you describe that?
We're a fintech firm. That's also an independent research firm. Independent stock, credit ratings, ETF, mutual fund ratings. And when I say independent, that means we're not taking money from companies or any trading clients. We are purely in the business of putting together great research. And, I started this business over 20 years ago with the goal of figuring out how to get data from filings, corporate filings, more efficiently. That's the main thing here. And so we built, machine learning and natural language processing tools before those terms really existed. And over time, we've run a hedge fund, but we've always been perfecting the technology. And what this technology is able to do now is scan these filings, thousands of them, hundreds of thousands of them, and pull out details that are lost by the market or missed by the market. This is proven by a paper written by MIT, Sloan, and Harvard Business School professors, published a few years ago in a peer-reviewed journal called the Journal of Financial Economics. And they prove empirically the market's missing footnotes.
Let me ask you this, because I was at a different AI firm, and we were working on something that sounds very familiar to what you're discussing. And I showed it to a friend of mine who was at Bloomberg. And my friend took a look at what we were doing. I'm not saying this is what you're doing. And said, well, you're just data indexing and data chunking. Bloomberg and others have been doing that for 10 plus years. What's different about what you're doing? It's one of the reasons I left the other place, by the way.
That's a great question, Adam, because I think it's important to be specific here. I think it's important to be specific about all AI, because most of it's smoke and mirrors. Most of it's a black box, and that's exactly what we are not. So, as an example, shortly after the paper was published in our data, I think Bloomberg spent around $30 million trying to upgrade their data set. It didn't work. So specifically what we do is we get more data out of these financial filings, but even more importantly, we organize it better because there's a lot of tools out there that can, take a filing and shake all the numbers out of it. That's not hard. It's organizing the data, just like with the internet. It's not hard to get all the data out of the internet. We've been doing that for a few years. Pour the data into LLM and see what happens. It's junk because we don't really know how to organize it, which means distinguish between all the subtle nuances of what's true and what's not true, what's relevant and what's not relevant to a particular question. the key thing, Adam, is the ontology. So we're able to collect and organize that data according to its economic consequence in a way that creates a better measure of profitability, in particular core earnings. In particular, the core earnings leaders index managed by Bloomberg is beating the S&P by 800 basis points this year. So our ability to measure earnings is superior to everything else that's out there, as demonstrated by this live traded index that's dramatically beating the market. And so ultimately what New Construct is doing is going and getting data to help our clients measure profits and valuation better than they ever could before at scale.
Okay. So that's what FinSights is doing. And if I'm hearing correctly, and I'm impressed by AI technology, it's why I left media. I am curious, what I heard you say, correct me when I get it wrong, you're ahead of Bloomberg. You're doing what Bloomberg was doing, but you're more advanced. Would that be a simple way of describing it?
When it comes to fundamental data and analytics, we're more advanced than everybody else in the world. Okay. That's why our indexes and ETF dramatically beat the market. I mean, I think that's, there's good news and bad news about beating the market. The bad news is really, really hard. Almost nobody ever does it. The good news, if you've done it, then you've got really inarguable proof that what you're doing is better than whatever else is doing, because everybody's competing in the same market.
So walk me through, if I were, and remember, I'm a content person. I am not, I joke with people, if I were to write my memoir, it would be The Lazy Investor. Mm-hmm. I've done all the things you're not supposed to do. I invest in I'm a passive investor. It's done me well because I'm Gen X and we got a free ride. Thank you very much. Walk me through as a Luddite. If I come to FinSights, I assume it's a paid service. Is it free? And then how would I, in the real world, as somebody who might want to start investing on my own, use it?
Yeah. So New Construct is the data that powers FinSights, which is an AI agent. So you come to FinSights, you say, show me the best tech stocks in some of the best stocks in the tech sector. Show me the best stocks in the market that are also expected to beat earnings. And it gives you answers, right? So, Adam, I think it's important to kind of take a step back and think about the evolutionary path for AI. And because we're seeing it unfold right in front of our eyes here in real time, and it's fast, so you really see it. And that is in the beginning, it's just about collecting data, right? I can get you data better and easier and faster. And then it's about building models. Okay, I can organize that data for you to give you some more additional information rather than just raw data. And I think the third part is insights. I'm just going to give you the answer, right? And so what New Constructs has done is jumped all the way to insights, because we've taken care of getting that data, organizing it intelligently, and now we can produce true insights. Answers to really hard questions like, what are the best stocks in the healthcare sector? And the ratings that we use to identify those stocks are the same as the very attractive stocks index that Bloomberg manages that's dramatically outperforming the S&P 500. So it's a rating system that works. It's metrics that provide real stock market signals like core earnings based on data that's proven superior because it has information from the footnotes that no one else has. So you think about it all the way through from ground zero, the original financial filings, which people could audit our data back to, through to the end result in the stock market. You've got something that's really vetted, proven to work, and then you marry that with an AI, which is effectively just an easier interface. You can almost say it's like a chatbot interface. It's able to take natural language questions and convert that into looking up data that gives very specific answers.
Yeah, you're a mind reader. You should go into the psychic industry. So I was about to ask you about natural language queries. So I understand that tool. Are there other tools associated with FinSight that I, as a user, can employ?
Well, FinSights is just like ChatGPT or Claude or any of these other tools, except that it's going to give you better answers about investing. So but it is very focused on investing. It is not integrated with Gemini, right? So if you wanted to sort of test the general intelligence of FinSights, you really want to do that on Gemini and ask it things about, I don't know, what kind of clouds, what cumulus clouds look like, and how many employees does GM have? Those are questions for Gemini. But when it comes to specifically making investment decisions around stocks, credit ratings, ETF mutual fund ratings. That's FinSights' focus. And I think that's an important thing to point out, Adam, because I think we're going to see a lot more what we call agents focus on a small language model as opposed to a large language model. Right now, we just have a few beta users. We're still in the beta mode, and we really just kind of, I guess, came out of stealth mode is maybe the way you should put it. And we're looking to roll it out broadly in the first quarter of 2026 to a larger group. Right now, it's only new constructs clients and a few new constructs beta clients to start. We're going to keep it private to new constructs because, look, these are our clients. We're going to make sure they get early access, and then we're going to roll it out more broadly to the public and more folks in 2026.